I'm Kelly Donahue-Piro, and I'm leading the charge of making insurance agencies ridiculously amazing. You may be wondering what that entails. Ridiculously amazing agents outlast the suck of change. They enthusiastically try, even when it's uncomfortable. They're never busy and always productive, and they would never email a quote without a conversation to a prospect or client. They are consistently proactive and reject reactive strategies. They remember to slow down, to speed up, and they don't make sales a dirty word. They have a Tigger mentality, and they reject Eeyores every chance they get. They are not intimidated by having a conversation about insurance rates. They are an educator that uses knowledge as the sword to fight against price. Ultimately, they recognize the honor they have of protecting what people work hard for. If you want to become a ridiculously amazing agency, let's take the next steps together. Hey everyone, if you can believe it, we have made it to the last week of January, and I am so excited. This is our next mashup of the videos of this week, and they've all been about how to handle rate in your agency, because this is the crux of our new course on really how to have the conversation with rate, equipping your team with skills to reduce remarketing, but bump up that retention. We know remarketing is so costly. And we're doing 33% off this course just till February 1st. So time is running out. Make sure you check out the ad and the links to go get that, because you don't want to miss this opportunity. But without further ado, I'm going to have you guys check out our first 3-minute video of the mashup. All right, in this video, we talk about something that people often look at me like, are you crazy? This is not a standard report in the management system. I am crazy, but I love getting a remarketing closing ratio. I want to see the quantity of reshops on everyone's desk, how many of them close and convert, and by team member, because we'll often see some people over remarket, some people under remarket. We can correlate that really to ultimately landing on a retention ratio. So in this video, we break down how to get a closing ratio on your remarkets. See you in the next video. Hey everyone, happy Monday. Want to talk a little bit about something we're covering in our new online course, which is how to reduce remarketing, but still boost retention, all about how to have the conversation about rate. But I want to give you a tip from the course that I think every agency should be tracking. But trust me, if you call into your agency management system and ask to track this, they're going to look at you like you're, like your eyes are crossed and that you're crazy. Similar to the way you would track a closing ratio in sales, I like to also be able to track with account managers the quantity of remarkets that they're coming in, the time frame it takes to handle that remarket, and ultimately I call it kind of the closing ratio. So how many reshops do we do and how many moved? Now, a lot of times when we're launching programs, this is something we look at in our renewal review call program, but also in this new online course, we find that everybody on the team has different statistics, which means that some account managers are just more predisposed to either recommend a remarket or maybe kind of not necessarily defend the rate in the same way. And then some have really low. We also want to match that up to the retention rate on each book, because it's kind of all of a moving target. But just like a baseball player has multiple stats, your team can have multiple stats, and it gives us clues onto where the training needs to be. So ultimately, if we can get good at having the conversation on rate, what we want to see is this. We want to see the quantity of remarkets go down, and then that quantity of moves go up, because we're sort of taking away the frivolous remarketing. The people who call in every year, or the ones would say, oh, just look, or the default of someone's mad, let me reshop them. And we're really remarketing out of a plan and intention. And that's what this course is going to give you. It's a plan on how to handle rate. Because it's going to happen. Carriers take rate weather, people have problems, and remarketing is just such a big time investment for agents. It doesn't always solve our problems. So basically, we can use this to either a series of action codes or activity codes and export those into Excel. Or each agency management system can treat this slightly differently. But the idea is the same. Can we look and see, can we go ahead and get some baseline standards? Now, when agencies get good at this, we want to see a drop in the total quantity of remarkets by about 33%, a third. Now think about how much time that could win back in your day. That would be huge. If you're doing 2 reshops a week, that's 10 a month. Maybe you're trying to cut out 3 of those, that's 3 extra hours. And then what we want to see is whatever that closing ratio is. And I've seen everything from 20%, 50%. We want to try to get that up to between 60 and 70%. Because that means when we are reshopping, it is because we feel like this person really qualifies for it. So just a tip, if you want to check out our online course, we're doing 33% off just until February 1st. So check that out. It's all online. It's got scripts, workbooks, role-playing videos with me. And it's just meant to say, I think so many account managers have never been given a plan of how to handle rates, that we often kind of default into this scenario of scrambling around a lot more than we should. And we want to try to stop that. So check it out. If you're an Agency Performance Pack member, which means you get all of our videos, it'll be dropping on January, or sorry, it should be in your portal right now, so you can grab that. That plan is $245 a month, and you get all of our videos, even the new ones we drop every quarter. So I shouldn't say videos, courses, because they are workbooks. They're really meant to go over 2 to 3 months of content. If you want to buy the course standalone, that is 33% off. So check it out. Have a great day, everyone, and try to track your team's remarketing closing ratios. Even just open up your eyes on how many are coming in. It might be very eye-opening for you and your team. Have a great day. In one of my first jobs, I got taught this lessons about the 2 types of rate-sensitive people. Can't afford it, don't want to afford it. And many people, the bulk of people fall in the don't want to afford it category. So I'm going to teach you how to train your brain to think about everybody, including grandma and designer jeans, in this 3-minute video. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the 2 types of people that typically struggle with rate. And I love having this conversation because I feel like a lot of times we clump everybody together, and that's not fair. So one quick thought is we just have to get it out of the way. No one really loves insurance except for us. And even then, we don't always like paying our own insurance premium. So we can't have shade and throw hate towards these people, right? A lot of times there's confusion and they don't have the education that they need to understand how rate works. And that's what our new online course on how to handle reduce remarketing, but still keep your retention high is all about, is that conversation about rate. But first, let's talk about who we're talking to, right? Bottom line is when someone calls in all spicy up about rates, they're taking it personally. And you see this in society as a whole, where everybody likes to feel like an individual. So they think that the CEO of the company must have handcrafted that rate just for them, right? Well, little they know that most of it's just an algorithm behind the scenes and a bot that came through and analyzed everything and spit out a number. The other thing is we have to think that there's 2 different types of rate clients, right? So my husband, who I love you, dear, is one of them, which is, I just don't like paying for insurance, so everything's too expensive. He has no point of reference, but every year when our renewal comes in, he's always like, we pay too much for our insurance. I'm gonna shop our insurance. He gets all huffy puffy. And I kind of just laugh because I'm like, okay. Now, one of the reasons our insurance rates are higher is because he blew by a school bus with a stop sign out. So see how he doesn't connect the dots on rate, nor does he have any recollection of when it actually happened or when it might fall off his driving record. So I kind of look back and look at it as entertainment when he gets all huffy puffy. He doesn't take it that way. So one day I asked him, I said, honey, what should we pay for our insurance? And he looked at me and he said, $13 a month. Keep in mind, he also owns a race car, okay? So there's some things there that he has to come to terms with. So there's some people who, no matter what the cost is, it's just too expensive and they kind of hate paying for it. It's not personal when they call into you all spicy. It's part of that whole adulting thing and they wish they didn't have to do it. And deep down inside, remember, we wish we didn't have to pay for insurance too. And then there's the people who really do struggle to pay it. And this also has some prickly points too, because often they get really good at telling their story of woe. They're telling this to the cable company and to the phone company and the electricity company. And lo and behold, we're one of the few people who can magically make rates change. And we feel for them. We have empathy. There are some times maybe in our personal lives where we remember being very financially stricken and we feel like we want to help them. Some people fall into that bucket though, and some of those people are telling you a story and they're going to buy an $8 Starbucks coffee. So I was always trained to think like this. I don't know what's in their bank account. I don't know what they're doing, but I was always trained to think whenever someone calls in, think of this. They're wearing designer jeans, they're drinking an $8 coffee, they have their nails done, and they're wearing a fancy watch. And then remember our role, which is just to talk to them, have the conversation, and identify some options. And that changes everything. So you have to think, the grandma calling in on a fixed income, designer jeans, you don't know, that's the whole point. So don't dive into problem solving mode, stop and have that conversation. And that's what this whole course is about. You're gonna learn more about it in a quick ad we have after this video. But don't assume everybody wants the same thing. In reality, when you start talking to my husband, he comes in all spicy about that rate. He's also going to want to know, well, are tools covered on my race car policy? And he's going to start kind of challenging you on that. And you can talk him off when he understands what he's paying for, like I get to do every insurance renewal. So I have personal experience on how well this script works that we have in the course. Just our tips. So just remember, even if you're not going to move forward with our course, that's fine. 2 types of rate increases and both have challenges. Hope you enjoyed this 3-minute video. Let us know how we can help you.
Hey, did you hear the good news? Our latest agency performance pack is ready. And this is a standalone course that you can get for your agency. And it's all about how to have the icky conversation about rates and insurance. We see so many people so fearful about talking to clients about rate. And we want to empower you with the best strategies of how to handle rate. This includes reducing remarketing and how to have those conversations without losing a client. But all too often, our own fear gets in the way and it stops us from really doing a great job about talking about rate and insurance. And so we want to stop that for insurance agencies. If you're seeing over remarketing, if you're seeing a hesitation on rate, if you're seeing clients go elsewhere because we don't have a great plan for it, this is the course for you. And the good news is, for the next 2 weeks, well, I should say until February 1st, we're doing 30% off. So you get the course, which is all online. You can take it as you want. There's quizzes, there's workbook, there's role-playing videos, there's scripts. There's everything that you need to help have the conversation a little easier. And you own it forever. You can also go ahead and do something different. We also have our agency performance pack, which is all of our online training as a subscription. So you get sales, retention, time management, how to turn every inbound call into opportunity, this rate handling course, and we add a new course in every quarter, so your team is constantly trained. So it's a system for you to hold yourself accountable to training and your team. So we hope that you check it out. Can't wait to see you and welcome you as a new student, or for our existing students, you might want to buy this course, or next step, if you haven't, think about the agency performance pack, which has all of this in here. If you believe in training your team, remember, it's your biggest investment. Your biggest investment is your team. Let's get this done so that 2021 is the year that you empower your team with a plan and the best tools. We will see you as new students in the course.
I have to tell you, from a time management standpoint, this video is important. If your agency is automatically remarketing people without a conversation, or producers are saying, reshop this person, we need to have some standards on remarketing. Otherwise it goes rampant and that time gets sucked up and ultimately we're killing our service people. So in this video, we break down the fact that we should not be automatically remarketing anybody. And instead we need to lean on more efficient and effective ways to handle rate. So if you feel like you're getting pummeled in your agency by too many reshops coming from above, a report or a producer, watch this video for our strategy. Hi everyone, it's Kelly Donahue-Piro here. Another tip on how to reduce remarketing while increasing your retention. And this one is gonna throw you guys for a doozy because I'm gonna say something that I almost never say. This is probably one of the only times I'll say it. There is one time in insurance that I think you should not be proactive. And it's the #1 thing that is killing service teams if your agency practices a strategy. That is proactively remarketing an account because it hit a certain trigger and then calling the customer and saying, I have a new rate for you. I could spend probably like a filibuster amount of time talking about all the reasons why this isn't good. But this is the only time you should not be proactive. Now, you can replace that reshop with a conversation and pick up, I don't even know, so much time. Because when you are taking this list and just shopping them, a ton of people aren't going to ever call you back, #1. #2, you're making it all about price. They could have their house on the market. Now you're doing double work, which doesn't make sense. And we're doing it out of fear. We're not doing it out of a plan. We're doing it out of fear that someone is going to be upset about rate. And so we want to problem solve and dive into a solution instead of have a conversation. And, you know, the reality is we're not protecting people when we do this because we don't look up the changes. We don't confirm everything. We literally just go through, throw it through, and make it all about price. And we don't have the opportunity to grab other lines because we don't have the information. So I really want everyone to really stop this practice. Sometimes we find that along these same lines, producers will say, oh, just reshop it, just reshop it. I think it's got to meet some qualifications because I've seen many, many times producers want everything reshopped because they're not doing the work, which is fine. But then they come back and they don't actually present anything to the client, or it just goes into a pile of waste. And we don't have the luxury to be wasteful in insurance. We need to come at rate from a place of empowerment and from a plan. And that plan is to have a conversation. And that's why I've created our newest course, which you're going to hear about in a couple seconds. But it's our newest course on how to reduce remarketing, but really hold high retention. And so it's a whole course on how to have the conversation about rate and give you super great tips on how to position rate and stop that remarket, but really help the client and deepen those relationships along the same way. Let me kind of break down for you, you know, a reshop in personal lines takes roughly an hour, let's say. Between the conversations and everything else, it could take a little longer, could take a little less, but just say an average of an hour. When we work with agencies, we often find that their closing ratio, we talked about this in yesterday's video, so make sure to check that out if you haven't watched that one, that, you know, an average agency has about a 30%, let's just say, closing ratio on reshops when we first get started. So that means that if you do 10 reshops, 7 hours of time never ever led to a greater opportunity. And it's just by checking and seeing. If we remarket by having a conversation, we reduce that quantity by a significant amount and increase the actual hit ratio. So your time is so much more valuable. So check out that video, it breaks it down a little bit more eloquently than I just did. But please stop the proactive remarket and replace it with a conversation. And I guarantee you're gonna see so much of a better outcome. Check out the video so you can get the course. We're doing a special till February 2nd. We'll see you guys in our next video. So this is a dirty secret that not many account managers ever kind of fess up to, but it's really hard to keep straight 12 different companies' discounts. Not only all the discounts, the percentages, the dollar amounts. Maybe you're pretty good at your top carriers, but that's not everybody. We're going to show you just a little hack that we have on how to hold your team and get them going on reducing remarketing by using discounts. And just this one simple thing that everybody could do next week that will help reduce, get you more time back in your day and increase retention. So let's talk about our next strategy on how to reduce remarketing, but keep retention high. And this is a little hack that we like to use with agencies. It's also part of our Reducing Remarketing online course that we really recommend your agency take advantage of. Huge strategies. You can own it outright, or it's part of our pack where you get all of our training videos. And we're doing a special on that until the end of February, the end of January. So definitely check that out. But a little hack. So you have in personal lines and small commercial, just let's say 20 carriers in total, 10 in each. Maybe you have more, maybe you have less, but just for food for thought. How easy is it to remember every single discount for every carrier in the percentage or the amount? I think it's impossible. You probably know pretty well your top, but as it gets into a little bit of the weeds, it's really hard. And what we teach agencies to do is to start and say, hey, you're upset about the rate. Let's go through every discount, even ones you don't think that they're going to want to go for. Because one, we don't know. We shouldn't have bias. We shouldn't assume. Number two, there's a power in them rejecting a discount that they would qualify for. So like somebody doesn't want to go on EFT, someone doesn't want to pay in full, someone doesn't want to go on usage-based driving apps. So I think that these are things that we really need to get in alignment with, because otherwise in that, when we can't apply the discounts or have that conversation, what ends up happening is we're assuming, or we have to have a second conversation. The way I like this to work is someone calls in, or hopefully, knock on wood, you're following our renewal review call program that we also have in our school, making outbound calls to everybody, not just rate increases, and saying, hey, here's the situation, but let's review all the discounts. And you can go one by one by one. One, amazing what you might be able to uncover, But two, again, there's just a lot of power in that. No, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. And a lot of times those discounts can add up. And let's be honest, if they're going to shop you, a new agent might be able to get those discounts and sink your ship. We don't want that. The other thing is this drives efficiency. So as opposed to you pulling up the carrier every single time and looking around and trying to figure out the discounts, now you got one sheet ready to rock and roll. We actually have a place on our remarketing sheet. It's a fillable PDF included with a course that lists the discounts. Our recommendation is to assign a carrier to each team member. That way they can kind of work with the underwriter, work with the marketing rep. Trust me, they want to help you with this because they want that business to stay with them. And then compile that list. So kind of divide up and conquer, but spending that one time to get this discount list is the equivalent of one remarket. And if we can save that for months to come, we're in a much, much better situation. So consider a market list, but also consider our online school. You're gonna learn more about that in just 1 second as I let you guys go. But it is Thursday, so we only have this discount for a few days. Have a great day, everybody. And really, let's try to be efficient and effective and keep that retention high. We'll see you soon. So those are our 3-minute videos for the week. We hope that you've enjoyed them. We've sure enjoyed producing them for you. Make sure you check out our course, and we're going to have a little session on our podcast too. You can get this 3-minute video mashup on our podcast. And we're also interviewing agents that are growing and have people. So we like to say that, if you're starting to grow, you got 10 plus people on your team, this is the podcast for you. Because when there's people problems, and we want to talk about how agencies are tackling those head on. So we'll see you in our podcast. All right, everybody, one more thing before you go. We have totally redone our podcast. So everything that you know in the past has been thrown out, pushed aside, and now we're doing a brand new podcast. We're actually interviewing 2 ridiculously amazing agents every single month. And the real goal of this podcast is to talk about agencies with team members. So they have somewhere 8, 10, 12, 15, 25 plus team members on there, because when you have team, your biggest goal has to be, your biggest investment is maximizing your team. And so we're going to dive deep into your people and how to train them and your people issues and the things that you can do to set the strategies for your team to perform. First up on January 1st launch was Vanessa Kimball with the Kimball Group. You might know her from Hawksoft or IAOA. And now today, the 15th, we're also launching Gina and Joe Clevenger from Indiana. They've been long-term clients and friends of ours. So hopefully you can dive into how they're transforming their agency to get the agency of their dreams, the one they deserve, the one that doesn't make it so hard on them all the time, and how their staff has really come around to adopting more structure, more guidance, and finding out that through our strategies, it's making their lives easier. So make sure you check out our Ridiculously Amazing podcast. If you're listening to this on our podcast, thank you for subscribing, or if you haven't subscribed, subscribe today. Our mashups will be there of the 3-minute videos every Friday and 2 podcasts a month. Some ridiculously amazing insurance agents. But you guys know that's not all. I'll probably throw a few curveballs in there every now and again. So looking forward to it. Check out our Ridiculously Amazing Agent podcast. You can find it on Apple iTunes.